Notts County Talk, another Thursday, another episode of the Pavis Perspective. The season is getting closer to the end. 8 games to go, 24 points to play for. If we're being honest, it's probably going to be one of the lowest points totals to get third place, maybe even first place in a number of years. Based on that introduction, it wasn't a fantastic weekend again against Crewe, but we're going to chat about that. We're going to chat to Jamie, who is a Newport fan, very shortly. We're going to chat to Ben, was on a few weeks ago. You all know Ben has been on the channel throughout our 5 years actually. Some really good insight there. We've got our player anagram at the bottom, Airlock Unsold. We've got our poll question, which asks you this week whether there should be 3 relegation places in League Two. I know it's been talked about massively. We've got our questions for each other, which we started a few weeks ago. Some great questions and involvement from you as well. And as always, I'm joined by George, who witnessed last Saturday, George, a refereeing masterclass. Would you say so?
Yeah, absolute masterclass. Absolute masterclass, wasn't it?
It was incredible. Let's see who we've got with us then. We've got Nigel, who has become a new member of the channel. Appreciate that, Nigel. Massively appreciate that. Gold member, I believe. We've got Phil, we've got Ian, we've got Royston. Helen, who is a channel member, says, good evening. Hopefully we win on Saturday. We need it. We do. We've got Adam, we've got John, Stephen. Mickey is 6 months a channel member, so I appreciate that. We've got Adrian, AD, Johnny, plenty of familiar faces. Milkman Hero is with us. Lots to talk about team confidence. What about fan confidence? We're going to get into that tonight. Gaz, Marcus, Martin, who is a channel member. Welcome. Evening says, still in the mix for autos. Somehow we are. We are somehow in the mix for autos. As always, before we kick off and chat about our opposition, I'm just going to direct you to Better Bytes Computers. They are the sponsor of this channel. Couldn't do it without them. Use the code Pavis Perspective in Mapley, Nottingham, and you will get discount on refurbished computers or computer repairs. Helped us out a few times over the last few years as well to get the show up and running. So very, very much appreciate that. I'm just reading this comment, George Smithy. After listening last week and George's comment saying we won't go up, I now believe we won't even make the playoffs, unfortunately. Wow. George, you've got a lot of people backing you for what you said last week. I said last week that we're gonna go up. We might do. We've got all that to talk about. But I say let's talk Newport first, shall we? Great away day last year, George.
Thoroughly enjoyable, wasn't it? Thoroughly enjoyable.
What away day. I'm going to get Jamie in. So, Jamie, appreciate you joining us. I'm going to start this off because when I think of last season, it wasn't a great season for us all in all. We ended up mid-table. But one of the highlights of my season, and I'm sure if you were at the game, it will live in the memory, was Jody Jones absolutely tearing you apart at your place.
Oh, yeah, it was certainly one of the lowlights for our season, for sure. I don't know what it is, but you guys have our number. Just every season, we just flip out. We're terrified of you coming to play us. So, it's going to be a fun one this weekend, I think.
Although there's no way he features either. So no. He's not back, which is good. Yes, we desperately need him back. But talk to us then, Jamie, about how your season's gone so far. Is it better than you expected, about where you should be, or are you disappointed?
I mean, it's a funny one. So for those of you who don't know a bit of our background, we were taken over by Hugh Jenkins. Hugh Jenkins, former Swans chairman, took them from the lower echelons of League Two up to European football and stuff. And he didn't make quite those same promises with us. He's kind of trying to get us a bit more sustainable. But in the summer, we had a bit of a clear out. We brought in a lot of young, fairly inexperienced players with a bit of experience, but not these sort of established League Two pros that you're expecting. We lost quite a few sort of senior players as well. So on the face of it, we weren't expecting much. And I think this is kind of let's just get ourselves on an even keel. We've had a real Jekyll and Hyde season. It's a couple of highs, a lot of lows, but somehow we appear to be safe. And you know what? I would have taken that at the start of the season.
Yeah, we were briefly talking about this before we came live. Your home and away form is as polar opposite as you can get, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. I think we might even be 5th in the home league form table, the home league table, but pretty much near the bottom away from home. We do. There's one guy who's done every away game this season, and he's calculated that the average mile per away point is about 400. He has to travel 450 miles for every away point we picked up this season. And we've got a lot of aways. We're in like, South Wales, and this is League Two North, isn't it? So, but still, it's shocking. We've had some absolutely horrific performances away from home this season. Yeah.
It will be interesting because we are far, far better away from home. The football, not only the points tally, which, it looks like I think we have picked up more points at home than away. But in terms of the quality of football, the entertainment is far, far better from us away from home. So I think it will be a very, very interesting game. I know this might be a weird question because you could say this about most teams' form, but do you fear that if you hadn't been as good as you are at home, you genuinely could have been in a relegation scrap? Because you're not going to go. Yeah. There's no way.
Oh, for sure. And you know what? We had a weird run at the start of February. We won 4 on the bounce. I think we're unbeaten in 6 as well. And I think without those 4 wins, and we were probably second best in half of those wins. That's 12 points. I think we're only about 15 clear or something like that. We'd be right in it if it wasn't for that run. We've been it's just interesting. We've got a lot of inexperience in the squad and inexperience on the bench and the coaching staff as well. And I think, when you get dragged into a relegation battle, if you don't have those old heads to sort of steer the ship and steer you through, like there's just no escape, is there? So we are like very pleased that we are where we are, but we could easily have been in a scrap, and going out of Football League is just nightmare, isn't it? So
absolutely. One question that I wanted to pose to you was about Josh Martin, because a player not sort of split opinion a little bit. I was a big fan of him, to be honest. I was just wondering how you see him getting on there at Newport.
Yeah, he's sort of shown flashes of what he is clearly capable of. I don't think he's quite getting the game time. He's not making starts. I think we're just struggling to try and fit him into our sort of front line, or trying to find an effective front line, really. I don't think he's really sort of. I'm not sure whether he in the long run we'd want to sort of continue with him. I think he needs to probably show a little bit more promise, in the minutes that he does get. So I've not seen it just yet, but I think there's something there in that player.
Whereabouts do you play him? We had him playing wing back, and then we were getting swamped by Cheltenham away. I think it was the 29th of December, and we had to have a reshuffle because our centre back got injured. And he went from wing back, where he was ineffective, and he played behind the striker. And I tell you what, he absolutely ripped them apart. We ended not just down to him. We ended up scoring 5 in that game. He was fantastic, and everyone was calling for him to be signed. And people in the chat now, we've signed a player called Charlie Whittaker from Everton, highly rated. People not in the chat right now and are saying they would rather have had Martin than Whittaker, and that's something we can discuss later, George. But whereabouts do you play him?
Yeah, he's typically played further forward. He has played in that role behind the striker, and he has played wide as well. Since he's joined, we've kind of played with 3 at the back and wing backs. I think he's dropped to wing back maybe once or twice, but predominantly a more attacking player for sure. Our issue really is that the way that we play, we've got big lad in Baker Richardson sort of holding the front line, and I think without him we've got 2 great wingers in Camworth and Ajiboye. And I think if you're playing with those wingers, having Martin there as well, it just feels a little bit lightweight. So it's just fine trying to fit him in the right in the system really. But I think more of an attacking player for sure. That's how we see him.
Yeah. I would have him back at Notts. I wouldn't have let him go. I was in the camp of that. I think you agree, don't you, George?
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah,
definitely. This isn't on topic of Notts and Newport's fixture, really. Although he may be back from injury, I don't know. A player that fascinates me is Kyle Hudlin, because we saw him in the National League for Solihull, and he was terrible for Solihull. Really poor. I mean, the guy he scored a few goals. Every time I watched him, I felt like he couldn't kick a football. And then all of a sudden he ends up at Huddersfield. And then I watched him at Meadowlane earlier in the year, and I'm looking now, and he's got 6 goals in 22, which is not bad. But at Meadowlane, he looked terrible. What do you make of him?
Yeah, I mean, you won't be. He's out for the season, so you won't be seeing him. But he is he's another enigma, because we can't really make sense of it either. He's not somebody who we probably see him for the long term, or even past this season. Or I'm not sure if he's on a 1 or 2 year deal. but yeah, whenever he comes on or is playing, we have the same feelings. We're like, is this is this what best we've got? But then he comes up with important winners, and particularly in that run in February where it sort of steered us away from relegation. I think he scored 1 or 2 winners. So yeah, somehow has got 6 goals for us, and they've all been pretty important goals as well. So can't fault the work ethic, but yeah, interesting signing nonetheless.
Yeah, would you have him at Notts, George?
No, personally, no. To be honest.
No, I wouldn't. I'll be honest with you.
He was linked to Man City as well, wasn't he? Before he went to Huddersfield, he was linked to City as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, he actually was. He genuinely was. When he was at Solihull, he must have been like 19.
Can you remember when he scored in the playoffs? It must have been Solihull, and he did the robot.
Yeah.
Must have been that.
Yeah.
Must have been that.
Must have been. Could you imagine him lined up for City? Probably would be all right now, to be fair. But I mean, that's just crazy. So we asked this, Jamie, of opposition fans. There's obviously some names in there we know. Baker Richardson being one that you've already mentioned. Could you give us a name to watch out for Saturday that we might not be aware of? Is sort of a player that goes under the radar but is very good.
Yeah, you know what? It's so again really interesting of our sort of strategy of signings this summer, because we brought in a lot of players from like the Cymru leagues. So we went to a bit of obscurity. We plucked people and they've not all worked out. We know that. One lad who not even Cymru Premier, but like lower Welsh leagues, we plucked him from, so he was playing, junior football basically, right back called Joe Thomas. And he's a tall, gangly, lanky right back. You're like, what is this guy doing here? He needs a bit of meat on the bones. But he going forward, he is excellent. He kind of has his head screwed on, and he'll be one certainly for the future. He'll far exceed, where we can take him at Newport County. So yeah, it's great seeing like a young lad like that, 19-year-old, I can't remember, 20-year-old, something like that. Really sort of shine when he gets the opportunity. So yeah, watch out for him, Joe Thomas.
Okay, we'll have a look out. It was one of the away games. I went last year and I wanted to go this year, but I'm not able to make it for this one. So it'll be one of 3 I think I've missed. I've missed Morecambe and Barrow. But yeah, I wish I could have seen that one. Before I ask you score prediction, it seems crazy. I think we're 6th in the league and fans genuinely want our manager out, Stuart Maynard. I think we stick with him to the end of the season personally, but that's a conversation for later on in the show for us. Your manager, very interesting appointment and caught my eye when he came. Maritimo B in Portugal. What do you make of him? And is he someone that's likely to stick with?
It's right. He is a very interesting signing. I think Hugh Jenkins didn't really want him as sort of the head coach. When he was appointed in June, he was called a lead coach. And we're like, what on earth is a lead coach? 2 weeks later, he's head coach. So I think we had somebody else in mind, but they didn't come through. He's very inexperienced, but he's had a lot of coaching. He's on the coaching books at Swansea, I think Birmingham as well. So he spent a lot of time in the UK. So he does know the Football League. I think where fans struggle is his sort of tactical nous in terms of like I said, when we've been on a bad patch and a bad run, you really want somebody, you want an old head to steer the ship, don't you? And he has occasionally looked a bit lost on the touchline, but that's not for want of trying. He's clearly tactically astute in terms of how he can develop young players, and that's kind of why we brought him on. I have a feeling he won't be in charge in the summer. Whether he'll still be a coach or not, I don't know. But I have a feeling he'll kind of gently get moved on, and we'll have somebody who, can deal with the rigors of League Two football a little bit more.
Yeah.
But a nice guy, really nice guy.
Yeah, we may, depending on how it goes, we may both be changing managers come the end of the season. I'm going to ask you the final question then, which is a score prediction. We need the win. We've won 1 in 6, 1 in 7. We're desperate for a win. Like you say, we seem to have your number, but it'll probably take us 6 chances to score. We do not score enough goals at the right times of games. What do you think is going to happen?
Yeah, I think it depends on a couple of things. Yeah, just how well you can take your chances, because you will get chances. I think the way that we sort of set up our midfield kind of gets overrun a little bit. So if you're able to sort of attack with a bit of intent, you will get through our midfield and then be able to get some chances. Also depends on how well our goalkeeper Nick Townsend performs. He has probably saved us, I would say, 15, maybe even more points this season. He is clearly our player of the season. He's the player I don't want to lose out of everyone. I kind of still feel you'll get the win, though. I think it might be a 2-1, but I predicted a defeat in our last home game. We won 3-0 against Harrogate. So what do I know?
Fair play. Fair play. I'm going to give you a player just to watch out for as well, when you might have seen this season, since you said about the midfield, because we're only going to see him for 8 more games, I think, because he's that good. George Abbott, have a look out for him. On loan from Spurs, 19 years old. He'll be in the Championship next year, I think. Jamie, really appreciate having you on. A good insight into the game on Saturday, and enjoy it and good luck for the rest of the season.
Yeah, good luck, lads. Have a good one.
Nice one, Jamie. Cheers, mate.
Thanks.
Cheers.
Ooh, an opposition fan predicting as a win. I don't think you're going to predict a win, are you, George?
Do you know what? I'm not sure yet. I've not made my mind up.
Really?
I actually haven't made my mind up.
I think, I mean, it would be so nuts, wouldn't it? Go to a team with a fantastic home record and actually win. But and we had this conversation over our group chat, didn't we? And I messaged in the group chat, and it said that I said that if we don't win this, that's it for automatics. As someone that's been automatic since August,
you literally have since the start of the season. You've been automatic.
And you said to me, I feel like you've kind of said that a few times, where if we don't win this game, we're not going up automatically. But I didn't, and I meant that on the podcast. But I didn't think the league would be this poor. No one wants it.
Yeah,
no one wants it.
It's true. And you made that point, didn't you? Where it was like, well, we're just lucky that the teams around us have been so poor. And when you actually look at our run of form in the last sort of 7, 8, 9 games, we're in dire form and somehow still like touching distance from the automatic. So it just shows you that the teams at the top really are choking, aren't they? They're not putting. We shouldn't be anywhere near it, really. With even our last 5 results, we shouldn't be anywhere near it.
No, but I do mean this week. I cannot see how we can't be in a situation where the top 7 drop points all again. There has to be some kind of. There has to be some kind of end to it, and I feel like we're getting away with it every single week. I was looking at the scores on my phone on Saturday, and I looked, and Wimbledon 2 up going into added time with Barrow, and I was like, there you go. That puts Wimbledon on 66, puts them 5 ahead of us.
Yeah,
with 4 ahead of us. With 24 to play for, which means we've got to win and get 4 more points than their total. I look back and they're drawn 2-2. It's madness. It's absolute madness. But I do think if we don't win this game, with still Doncaster with the game in hand over us, I think because people can still keep being poor, can't they? But time's running out in terms of points we can get. Realistically now, we'll ask Ben this as well. 24 points. I think we probably need 19. 18, 19. What do you think? I know it's a massive ask, but I think we probably do. 18 only takes us to 80. But maybe a little bit less. It's ridiculous. We're 6 games away from the end of the season, and Crew on 58 points. 58 points. Sorry, 8 games to go. Crew, 58 points. Could still get automatics. A team on 58 points with 8 games to go shouldn't be with a sniff of automatics, really, should they? So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be very, very interesting. Should we get Ben in?
Let's get Ben in.
Get Ben in. 3 weeks ago, Ben came in. We'll get him in again. Ben, how are we doing?
All good, fellas. How are you?
Yeah, good. Great to have you back.
Yeah, nice to see you.
Not a lot has improved, really, has it, since we last had you on? But also, I think we're 1 point further away than we were 3 weeks ago. Madness.
It's madness. But I'm going to be slightly positive on that, though. I think with performances, the last 3 games have been better.
So you agree with Maynard's assessment that we're building momentum in performances?
A little bit, yeah. I think we're decent against Grimbo. I think against Chelsea we were all right and should have won the game. We just went to sleep and threw it away. I think in the second half, I'd like to talk about Jarvo later, but I thought in the second half against Crewe we were pretty good. I mean, not brilliant, but no one's brilliant. So I thought we were pretty good. And I mean, there's 2 penalty decisions that don't go our way. Not just don't go away, are like clear.
Should we go? We're going to have to talk about it. And I really don't subscribe to the idea of you can't blame the ref for every loss or every time you drop points. In some cases, like we should have scored. We've had chances to score.
Yeah.
But sometimes football games are tight. You've got a team coming to sit in and defend, and you've got Jarvis breezes past one defender and then elbowed in the side of the head. Like,
yeah,
I called the first one as a dive from the stand originally.
Yeah, I saw that on it's all black and white. But the thing for me with the first one is that's given every single time. If you push the ball past the keeper, if you touch him, it's a pen every time. It's always given. I'm talking about Prem, I suppose, or if it goes to VAR, it's always given. And it doesn't matter that he pushes it too wide. Salah does it all the time.
I think that's what went against him, though. I think because the ball had gone too far. I think if the ball was still within his reach, he'd probably been more inclined to give the penalty to the ref.
He's pushed the ball past the keeper, George, and he's touched him. It's a pen. He's pushed the ball past the keeper, and the keeper has touched his ankle.
Yeah.
The ref.
I watched it, and I thought there and then I was screaming it was a pen. To be honest with
you. Yeah. So I'm kind of with you. I don't like it. I don't like the sort of the referee, robs us of the points or stuff like that. But when there's two, that's getting into a kind of the points are there. Do you know what I mean? And the Jarvo one is just ridiculous. I mean, okay, like I accept if he goes shoulder to shoulder, then that's fair enough. He doesn't. He runs straight. So his arm comes straight across. I mean, there's no body movement towards the ball or indeed the man. He just goes in with his arm.
Do you know if you pause the second one, the ref is directly behind it? There's no way. And it's not like it's Ryan Cooney, isn't it, who winds Notts fans up all the time anyway. It's not like he comes across with his arm up. His arm is raised and the movement's with his arm. The movement's not because his body is coming to contact with him. His arm is... it's ridiculous, isn't it? And then, like Maynard said, I thought Whittaker was actually quite decent on Saturday, but you have to hook him because we could end up with 10 men and 0 points. Yeah, I thought the ref just allowed time wasting as well. Poor officiating. But again, we have massive chances to win the game. But I don't know. I don't really know. I don't want to moan about the referee, but in some instances, you have to. And I like to see a manager, whether it's Maynard or any other, I like to see them when it's time to call it out, call it out. Don't just sit there, don't be there and say, well, these go against us sometimes we get them. Yeah. I don't like I'd take a fine. Yeah.
Because that game, I mean, Crewe didn't really create much, did they? Kane Hemmings missed one like he always missed them for Notts at the near post when it came across him. Other than that, you could see where their problem was. They get into some good areas and they've got no one to finish it. So that game could have been 2-0, both of them from the spot, couldn't it? I mean, we had chances and we should have scored. But I mean, how many times have we said that, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. But I'm just on the performances, just like kind of moving forward. I sort of think we're playing a bit better. I think we're playing with a bit more speed. I thought Maynard got one change right and one change wrong. I thought Kellen Gordon didn't do anything particularly wrong. He just didn't have a great game. So him for Nicky on that side was really good. And keeping Jarvo on turned out to be a really good move. Jarvo's best 45 for us, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But Edwards was a mistake. So I don't know.
My concern is, sorry to interrupt you there, but my concern is obviously, I do agree. I think the performance at the weekend wasn't that bad. I think the ref was poor. And to be honest with you, I think there's been a lot of games this season where the ref's been poor, but not to the degree of potentially costing us 2 penalties.
Do you know what? No, you finish.
You're saying performances are improving. I agree with that. I do agree. I think the last few weeks that they have got better, the weekend especially. But I think because we have such a young squad, I'd say I'm just assuming, I would say it's more difficult to keep them motivated to play in that manner without getting results than it would be more of a like an older, more been there, done it sort of squad. You know what I mean?
That's a really good point.
Probably not going to be there for younger players. It would be with someone like McGoldrick. You know what I mean? So we probably have got 1 or 2 players that will be really behind it and can see the patterns and stuff like that. But my concern is when we seem to be building momentum, a win would do a world of good for the younger players. I think a world of good.
Yeah, and also you saw with, and I don't really blame him for this necessarily, but you saw Jarvis when he scored against Chesterfield cupping his ears. That's the kind of thing you're talking about there. Like they when you're younger, you don't like. David McGoldrick's had all sorts from the stands, social media probably shouted at him. He's been through it, he's done it. Football was, a lot tougher when he started. I know it was only like 20 odd years ago, but it was a lot tougher. These younger players, they're probably at Shelburne, Jarvis probably never received any level of that kind, frustration from fans. Whittaker, the same at under 21 level. These players have got to. Yeah, I'm hoping what you're saying, like George. I'm hoping you've got Didsy in that changing room, and Didsy's talking them through. Look, we keep playing like this, we're going to get a result. We're going to get a result.
Yeah, I think they're playing the ball into tighter, more dangerous areas as well. That's one thing I think is happening in the last 3 games. Like we're playing shorter passes into players when they've got men around them, and we're brave enough to do it, and then try and move that round. Because if you can move the ball round 2 players tight, you're obviously going to make space. And we weren't doing that, say, 6 games ago. We're just kind of rolling it side to side and taking forever on it. I still think it's, a bit too slow at times, but I think there's a bit more risk taking with the passing.
Yeah, and that's what we need, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Teams don't expect that from us. So it's good. Don't get me started on this. The yellow for Bedou's handball when it was by his side. Just after it, like, some of the Notts players have been manhandled to the floor, and it's like, no card. Oh, it was terrible. But that's the last we'll talk of thing. Comment in here from Richard saying, hope Sam's back soon following his recovery from hernia. The good thing about that is that Maynard said it's just about the pain now. So it's not like it could be a recurring injury from overplaying. It's just about the pain. The negative is that in the same interview, he spoke about Jody Jones still not even being in contact training. You're going to see him for 2 games, maybe 3. I can't see if he's not in contact training now. He misses Saturday. He misses Wednesday against MK. That leaves 6 games left. If he's even fit for that game after that, which is Colchester away, he's fit for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Is he going to be ready? Realistically, Colchester away is in 9 days, and he's not in contact training yet. So is he going to be ready for Colchester? Probably not. They're at least 5 games. So what for a completely not a player with no match fitness because he's now been out for like a month and a half. Playoffs maybe. I mean, unleash Jody Jones in the playoffs if we get there. Yeah, I'm all for that. But I want Jody Jones for the running.
Yeah.
This is really disappointed with how his season's gone for him.
It's horrible for him, isn't it? Really. You're right. It can only be kind of 4 games, and then he's got to find form. I mean, it could be a thing where he's got 4 games to get himself going for a playoff campaign. I mean, it could be, couldn't it? But yeah, like you say, we need him now.
From the other side, could you imagine, I don't know, Port Vale in the playoffs? And then they say, right, well, I don't think they've played Jody yet, Port Vale.
No.
So imagine saying, right, well, they've got Jody Jones fit, and he's going to be playing 2 games against you in a week. Like, you are thinking, they should, without Jody Jones, I know they didn't put away the chances. They should have scored 10 past us.
Yeah.
Now they've got him. Could be a difference maker. But I'm hoping we don't get that. I'm hoping we don't need to see Jody Jones at that. Ian says JJ could have played his last game in a not shirt. Just saying. I don't see that at all, Ian, because no one is going to have him in the summer. No one.
No.
He's spent almost a whole season out. And this just adds to his list of, or the notion that he's an injury-prone player. Because the one of them is a broken foot, isn't it? A broken bone in the foot, but this one isn't now.
No, it's a hammy.
Yeah, I don't see him going. Do you see him going, George? I can't see it.
No, I can't.
I can
2
also
years
see
in
him being a
contract.
Knots player for a long time, personally.
I hope so.
Yeah. What's
I
that?
think-
What's that saying? The best ability is availability. Is it something
Yeah.
like that? I don't know. I'm feeling philosophical.
2 years on the contract for JJ as well. You're never going to buy him out 2 years with been out for no chance.
What
No
are you
chance.
laughing at? What are you laughing at, George?
You're saying I'm feeling philosophical.
I am. And you know what? It's hit me like a wave again. I've been putting it in the group chat all week.
Well,
When Barrow beat Port Vale, I put it straight in the group chat. It's back on, boys. Marais taking us to the league title. I'm feeling it again. It's come over like a wave of positivity. I've read some of these comments about Jody going, and something said no because he's in League One with us next year. Could you imagine? I'm just going to put this out. Could you imagine the scenes if Junior Marais scored the win at Wembley? I'll be on the pitch, 100%. Could you imagine that? Marias on last minute, off his like shin in the bottom corner.
No, it needs to be one of those where he doesn't do any backlift at all and absolutely smacks it. But he only did that for Dagenham.
yeah.
I mean, his goal scoring record's really good when he's not doing for Knots. It's really, really good. But anyway, we don't need to talk about that because I'm the only one in the group chat that thinks we're still getting automatic. But as you might have heard, Ben, when we were talking a minute ago to Jamie, my
It depends on this weekend, doesn't it?
It kind of does for me, unless everyone completely bottles it again. But we're running out of points, and like you said, George, you've got to keep. If we don't win this weekend, you've got to keep a team motivated that's not won again.
Yeah.
I think this weekend, and I've said it all. Obviously, I've said it all, but this feels to me like I think, and I've said this as well. I think MK is going to be really difficult because of the Crowley situation. They'll be well up for that, well up for it. So we have to win. Have to win. My opinion. And we have to win every game now, don't we?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
16. I think 78 points will do it.
78. So what? The 17.
Yeah, is it 16, 17? Yeah.
You might be right because we have to play Donny in that, so that could be taking points off them.
Yeah, I honestly think 78 could do it, and I think it's a brave man that calls third in this division. I know we kind of go, well, look, they can't all drop points again, but they can because they keep doing it.
Well, to be fair, a lot of them play each other this weekend.
Yeah, they do.
So this weekend you've got Bradford at Accrington. There's no guarantee that they win that. Crew play Port Vale, so someone's dropping points at least. At least one team's dropping points. Donny at home to Carlisle, I'd expect to win for Doncaster there, to be honest. And Walsall play Wimbledon. So actually, some people are dropping points.
That's what I mean. And I think they've all got games that I think we'll see that a fair bit. Pretty much everybody in the top sort of 6 or 7 have got at least 4 games against other teams in the top. It might be more like sort of 7 or 8. But it's not just us. I think there's some pretty tough run-ins.
Yeah. And on my drive home today, I was having to think about it ahead of the show. What I also can see happening is I wouldn't be surprised if you get like 3 games to go and it's decided. Because some teams just never pick up the form. You could see 2 more wins for Walsall, another win, a couple of wins for Bradford, and let's say Wimbledon pick up, and it's done and dusted with 3 games to go. Yeah. I could also see that. Dale says it's Bradford Port Vale on Tuesday night as well. What a time to put pressure on with a win at Newport.
Yeah.
Marais is doing it for. I can feel it.
It's Junior. This is your moment. Do you know what? I was thinking about this in the week, like because I really like my cricket as well. I know lots of Notts fans do because Nottingham is the greatest sporting city in the country. Like the great Australian teams were brilliant at grasping the moment. Like they knew when the session in the test match was that they needed to win, or the moment in the run chase, whether they're batting or bowling, the moment to take the game. And not as guilty of this as anybody. Just nobody. It's the moment. It's like, look, if we have to win this game to put the pressure back on other people. I mean, Wimbledon 2-up with 6 minutes to go is bonkers. You know, because if they win that game, they're looking so strong, and they end up dropping 2 points. I'm telling you, it's going to keep going. It's going to keep going.
There was I said it to you in the nest, didn't I, Ben? I said it at the start of the season. There's something weird that I feel like, I don't know. But then on the other hand, this league is so bad. If we don't go,
I've never seen Notts in a division like this unless it's a relegation fight. That's the other thing I was thinking this week. In a relegation fight, like a point is seismic, or a point is big and a win is like massive, because everybody around you is also awful, and like you're trying to claw, and it's like that, but at the other end of the table. I've never seen anything like it. I'm just trying to remember another season that included Notts, and I can't get one.
No,
I can't.
Yeah, it is bizarre. Every time we've sort of been in and around, even when we was in the National League, the teams around us have been winning, haven't they? So it was fairly relentless.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, to be fair, after looking at those fixtures, it does feel like the weekend, doesn't it? Walsall, Wimbledon, Crewe, Port Vale. Wow. What score? Joe said, what score do we want? Walsall, Wimbledon. You know what? I wouldn't want a Walsall win. I probably would take the draw, because I think Walsall are falling out of that places, and it stops Wimbledon getting 3 points.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huge. And when was the last time Walsall won?
The bottom of the form table.
Yeah, they picked up points. But I go a point. I go draw.
Yeah, and I'd actually say it'd be very beneficial for us if Crewe could beat Port Vale.
Yeah, definitely.
Port Vale picking up anything. Yeah. All Richard says both to lose. Yeah, I'd take both losses. Yeah, I'd take all 4 to lose, really, if we could. That would help. But I don't know if you've seen over the last few weeks, we've introduced a new part of the show where we ask each other a theoretical question.
Yeah, I have seen this.
I'm enjoying these. George asked me last week my ideal running if we were to win the Carabao Cup, inspired by Newcastle. I had Mansfield in there, I had Crewe in there, I had Forest in there, I had Wrexham in there. You can join in with these questions today. So, George, I think it's your turn to go first.
I think it's your turn, isn't it? I'm sure I went first last week.
Yeah, it's my turn to go first.
Look at that. So honest.
Here's my question. Yeah, but I'll just polite. Here's my question to you.
Go on.
So the current team we've got. Yeah, this is so obscure but random. You're allowed to pick. It only really applies to the defense, midfield, and attack. You're allowed to pick in the current formation. One player from each position, one defender, one midfielder, one attacker, right? But they are cloned. So you're looking for the most all-round player in each position. So you pick Matty Platt, you've got to have Matty Platt at the wing-back positions. Which player are you picking to cover the midfield? Bear in mind, this midfield has got to be attacking, defensive. Who are you picking? Because you can't pick.
I think this is a good question.
It's nice, isn't it?
I think that the defense is basically like the whole back 3 or back 5
is the same player.
Deadu. It's easy as that, isn't it?
Do you think?
Easy as that. Midfield, another easy one. George Abbott.
Yeah,
it's as easy as that. Striker for me, that has to be McGoldrick.
We've got here Bedu, Abbott, Didzi. We've got Bedu, Abbott, Jatta.
Yeah.
Could you imagine Matty Platt as both wing backs? Wow. That'd be incredible. So Bedu, fair enough. Ben?
Bedu. It's got to be Beds.
Boy, this is a rogue one. Bedu, no, not that one, sorry, but that's a good one. Bedu, Abbott, Didzi. Bedu, Grant, McGoldrick.
Yeah. He's trying to be too left wing, I think.
Maybe.
The only thing with McGoldrick, I mean, it's like striker positions. Does that also include like attacking mid? Sort of, because we play a box. We only play one striker.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
Because I don't know whether I want 3 McGoldricks, because that's, I don't know. It's going to get tired.
3 Jattas.
No, that might drive me nuts.
3 Marias.
Yeah, I was going to say 3 juniors then.
Triple junior.
Triple junior.
This team wins the league. Chickson, Abbott, Marias.
Oh.
You have 5 Adam Chicksons.
I'm surprised they didn't put Chickson.
Oh gosh. Do you know what's a good one is? Someone said Austin, and if Abbott wasn't so good, Austin would be everywhere.
Austin was doing a right good job at right wing back though, wasn't he?
Yeah, I like. Yeah,
Well, he was really, really good.
The goal
The
against
best he's
Cheltenham.
been- Best he's been for Notts.
Do you like that one? That's a good question.
It's a good one,
Yes.
though, yeah.
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
George, what's yours?
So I've gone back and forth with myself a little bit on this one because it's a little. I just feel like it's like a theoretical genie question, right? And I was going to go with what 3 wishes would a genie could grant you, but I think it's a bit boring because everyone's just going to say win the Premier League in so many years or whatever. So I've stripped it right back and made it a little bit more thought provoking. So you only get one wish from the genie, yeah? And it's to undo something that's been done in the last 2 seasons that you think would have helped us where we are now.
Fair enough. The good is you're absolutely spot on with not just having the straight question, because my first wish before that would be to relegate Crewe. That'd be mine.
One can of Diet Coke.
But first one, I'll relegate Crewe to the National League. My second wish would be to put them in the National League North. And my third would be to put them in the whatever league. But yeah, right. Ooh, that's a great question.
That's tough, man.
Undo one thing.
Obviously, like Notts related though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one. One specific thing. This might be too big. You can tell me if this is too big, but mine would be when we came up to have actually decided to recruit in the defence.
Okay.
Or is that too wide?
No, I think that's a wise decision.
Yeah, that would be mine. That would be mine.
Good answer.
I know what a lot of people are going to say. It'll be manager related, but Ben?
It's easy with hindsight. I've got another one, but I'm going to sit on that.
A really controversial one.
We don't sell Macca.
Yeah, I like that one.
Can I say mine? I don't know. Can I say mine?
We don't
Just
sell
say
Macca.
it.
I sell Jatta to Plymouth for 750,000.
I don't disagree with that.
750,000, and you can probably go back on this and see where I said, "Don't, don't sell him. We need him." But that's a lot of money for a player that was unproven.
Do you know my other is that the world doesn't lose Jason Turner?
It's a good one.
Yeah.
Because I think he glued a lot of things together.
Yeah.
I agree with you. Someone actually said something the other day, actually, and I know the club sort of did keep it up for a while after Jason Turner, but there doesn't seem to have been as much communication, does there, of recent? But Jason was really good at that, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And I'd still bring in Joe Palmer, because I think what Joe Palmer does is really good for the club, and I think it will be moving forward, actually.
Yeah.
Like the stuff off the field, but
commercial basis.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was quite a blow. But
there's always questions that I think of, like theoretical questions, and it might be too much to put you on the spot now, Ben. If you've ever had a question in your head that you've thought about, or we can have it ready for next time you come on. You can ask us one, but if anything pops in your head before we finish, just ask us that question. But,
okay, I'll cog turn.
Just having a look at some here. People have said keep all the players match fit. Yeah, if we could reverse that, that'd be insane. Keep Crowley, someone said. And more people here, Ben, saying keep Langstaff. Selling Langstaff has to be the first one we reverse. Yeah. I'd like to have seen reversing Matty Palmer's injury.
Yeah.
But I don't think we'd have had enough to go up anyway. Because
no, I don't.
Yeah. Interesting. Someone's a lot of shots. Some people. Cal Roberts is doing amazing stuff for Scunthorpe, but you full well know if he came here and pull a hamstring first game.
Yeah.
So it's not worth it. Also, imagine managing the minutes of Cal Roberts. Oh my god, you won't see him. You can't You wouldn't be able to. No. Do you think we're too overcautious in that, or do you think it's just been an unlucky season? Because on the face of it, it's frustrating, isn't it?
Yeah, I think there's a few things where like we're really funny. Like some things we're really risk averse, like managing minutes. So sometimes some of the football that we play is really safe, and then other times as a club we take these massive risks. Like we've taken risks with coaches, like Birchnell, Williams, and Maynard. They're all risks. We take risks with young players. They could be brilliant. We don't know. Do you know what I mean?
Take risks with Traore.
Yeah,
big money on him.
Yeah, and big money on Traore. But then other things we're really, really cautious. And I do think managing minutes. I mean, it is a thing, and I think if the physio and F&C department's sort of saying, look, if you play this player for more than this amount of minutes, the percentage chance of injury goes up by this percent, which is how it works. Then you're probably going to act on that. But I do think we are a bit, we're very careful.
You listened to a podcast, didn't you, George, with a former Arsenal physio?
Yes.
Literally, didn't he say something like, you by like the third game of the season, no one's match fit anyway?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was basically saying after a few weeks, no one is really 100% there. But he says at the end of the season, you probably have like 2 or 3 players that are actually fit to play.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe that's our strategy. Maybe we're just keeping them until right at the end. And if we get automatic, great, but we're keeping them for the playoffs. I don't know. People, a lot of talk about Jata in here. Someone says Jata's going to get 20 plus goals. I'm not saying I'm angry we didn't sell him. I'm saying in hindsight, the way the season's gone on now,
yeah,
you at that point we'd gone on that mad run over Christmas and won 6 in a row or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Jata was scoring, and we were looking at probably have automatics, but now automatics, we're not in control of automatics anymore, and you could have potentially turned down 750,000 for a striker. That, if we're being honest, I think is really, like Jata, I'm not against him, but he's missing a lot of chances. And this also probably sounds like I'm pinning everything on Jata. I'm not. When you look at the chances other players have missed as well, some big chances. So if we'd have sold him, who'd you have replaced him with? It's a good question, but the rumours had been around since right near the start of the window. Right near the start. 3rd of the 5th, Jata on Gambia duties. I know they have a fixture by that date, but there's no way he's playing in that if it goes down to 1 game.
No
way.
No.
Also, who would you replace him with? I just recalled Marais earlier, if I'm honest.
That's what I was just sort of thinking.
Yeah, exactly. Right, we're going to do our lineup. Ben, it's been great having you on. I just want your very quick answer to the poll question. Have you got that to hand, George?
What's the poll question?
I have. Should League 2 have 2 relegation slots? Should League 2 have 2 relegation slots? Oh, fluffed it again. Start again. Should League 2 have 3 relegation slots? Yes or no? What did we vote, gents?
Yes.
I said we should have 8.
I put 2 actually.
I voted yes.
So 74% agree with us. I put yes as well. 26% say no.
Yeah, I think it's almost done and dusted already.
Yeah, got to. National League is stronger and stronger. The amount of sort of investment and stuff in the clubs down in the National League, we know about it. It's sure maybe like some of the bigger clubs have come up, but it's still a really, really competitive division. And I understand the EFL kind of looking after their own clubs, so that they only relegate 2. I mean, you had to be voted at some points in the past, haven't you? So yeah, no, I think it's getting silly, really. I think it's got to go 3 up, 3 down.
It's just protection, isn't it?
Yeah.
I wonder if we got relegated, would we still have voted yes? I don't think I would have.
What if we were in that 3rd spot?
No, so I mean, like, if we never actually ever got relegated to the National League.
Oh,
it's all in hindsight, theoretically, but
you get an extra promotion space, and if a big team goes down, it's almost like a bit of an insurance thing. I don't know. It's good. It's a good one.
It's a good one because we know more about the National League and the division and stuff because we were there for 4 years. And if we hadn't been, how many teams that haven't been down or flirted with going down, pay attention to it. I don't know. It's a good point.
Yeah, it is. It is. Ben, we'll have you on again before the end of the season, absolutely no doubt. Maybe see you in an away game at some point. You at Colchester?
Yeah, I'll be at Colchester, I think. Yeah.
I'm on a
Yeah,
solo
sure.
drive to Colchester. These lot have abandoned me. I know.
It's not. Yeah, it's quite tricky to get to, mate. It's quite tricky for me. Yeah, it just takes forever to get down there. But yeah. Well, let's work that out. But hopefully, see you soon. Anyway, brilliant.
Nice one. Cheers, Ben.
Nice one. Cheers.
Yeah. Always good to have Ben on, isn't it?
Always.
We were a bit negative when he came on, and then he sort of perked it up, didn't he?
Perked it up, yeah.
Yeah. Marcus says excellent stuff from Ben again. 100% agree. You know what? Actually, if you're not subscribed, you probably should, because Ben's going to be on more. So
he is.
It's a no-brainer, isn't it? Really,
it's an absolute no-brainer.
Let's do the lineup then. I won't be on here next Thursday if we lose. I'm just going to say it right then. I'm not going to beat around the bush.
Why not?
I'm just not doing it, because then I'll have to admit we're not getting automatic. So I'm not doing it. Yeah.
Fair enough.
And maybe you just sit here on your own.
Yeah. I'll just sit here on my own asking myself a theoretical question about genius.
Yeah, and then 10 minutes in, you'll say, "Oh, I've read it wrong."
I read it wrong. It's my own question. I read it wrong.
Should League 3 be 2 up, 4 down?
Oh man!
Right. Oh, come on then. Have you got 4,500 subscribers yet, Richard? No. Actually, we're a fair way away from there. Yeah. Gaz says Tom spare in the car to Colchester. Fair enough. I can't get anyone. I mean, he doesn't know yet. But I'm still trying to get George to go. He might do. Because I'll literally drive him there. So if just inundate George with messages, because the vlogs are better when George is on it as well. And you get to see Ben as well, George. And it's for your birthday anyway. I was driving you for your birthday as well.
Okay.
Soon.
Not a million miles. You've been further away, definitely, but
100%. It's like 100%. Right, line up. If we have a new goalkeeper, I'm afraid he's not starting because Sam Slocum has done nothing wrong and kept 2 clean sheets.
Okay.
Start Slocum.
All right.
Yeah. Back 3 pick themselves, don't they?
Pretty much.
Would you continue to play Jarvis at wing back?
I want to say yeah.
Yeah, it's second. If you'd asked me at half time, I said no way. I'm going to rein it in because I get quite aggressive here, and everyone's entitled to their own opinion. But if Nick Cerula doesn't start, I can't see why people think Gordon is a better option than Nick Cerula. I watched Nick Cerula dribble past about 4 or 5 players in the half-hour, 40. No, it was a 45-minute, wasn't it? In the 45 minutes he was on, I watched Gordon dribble past nobody. I'm telling you now, Nick Cerula has to start. There's no way he shouldn't start.
Yeah.
Then you've got 2 wing backs that can actually take players on. There we go. Anyway, midfield 2 pick themselves.
Yes.
Then you do that front 3 that we talked about.
I'm going to say Grant, McGoldrick.
Yeah.
Jatta's back, ain't he?
Yeah.
Jatta.
No Whittaker.
No.
Played all right, but yeah. I think it was Richard right at the start of the video when we had Jamie on. I didn't put it up on the screen. Said Nick Cerula is the anagram. Yeah, it is. Nick Cerula is the anagram. First one we've had of a current player, I think. So there we go. No, it's a huge game. Next Thursday we'll actually be talking about the MK Dons game as well, because that's on Wednesday night.
Could be tasty.
I've seen it on here. Someone said, I think the more you boo Crowley, and genuinely think the better he plays. That's the kind of player I think he is. Yeah. So I'm just going to be there like clapping him, cheering him, asking him for autographs, I think.
Would you consider cupping your ear to him? Would you consider it?
No, because if he scores, he'll do it back to me.
Yeah, he'll point you out as well, he'll find you as well, and do it to you.
Yeah. He'll run around in circles around me. I won't be able to get the ball. But no, I genuinely think he'll put on a performance. I watched him against Carlisle on the other night. It was terrible. Honestly, terrible. Half the team were terrible, but I think he'll put in a good performance. I know it, and it will also fire the rest of the MK team up because they don't want their teammate getting booed. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Yeah, he will definitely shush the cop if he scores or does something. So we'll be back with that. Let's get score predictions in then, George, for both of those games, really. My optimism has boundaries. But this week, I'm saying 2-0 against Newport and 2-1 against MK. And I honestly, right, and I know someone said in the comments, you will just predict a win again. Yeah, I will. I fully will. But the week after that, if I'm going to start being dead negative. So I'm going 2-0, 2-1, 6 points. See you next Thursday.
I'm going to go for a Desmond 2-2 away and a 1-0 against MK Dons win.
Fair enough. Knots to win 2-0, Jatter and Jarvis. 6-0. We've got 3-0, 2-0, Cloud9, Marcus Albion. We've got 2-0. We've got 3-0. Martin, 2-0, 3-1. We've got 2-0, 3-1. We got a few of these in there coming in very quickly. We've got a 5-1 Knots and a 3-0. We've got a 2-0 and a 1-0. That fills me with hope because we've missed a lot of chances this season. We've missed a lot of chances even against teams that play a low block. Well, Jamie thinks we'll get chances anyway. So how many could we create against the team that are going to give us chances? I don't know. We've got a double Desmond from Milkman Hero. We've got double Desmond. And then a 4-0 Jatta hat-trick and 2-1 there. I'll go with Joe's there to finish 2-0 and 1-0. Whew. We're going to have a reaction, not on It's All Black and White, a reaction to the Newport game on the channel on Saturday. We are going to have a It's All Black and White for the game against MK, and then we'll be back on Thursday. Well, might be. I might not. George will be back here Thursday. It might be George and Ben. Could be George and don't know. But it won't be me if we lose to Newport. And I'll see you next season maybe. But please do subscribe if you are new to the channel. Leave a like. Thank you for all the interaction this evening, especially with Ben, especially with Jamie who joined us, previewing the Newport game. It's going to be an interesting week, a very, very, and I know I've said it before, it's a defining week. It is because next Thursday we'll have 6 games left, a maximum of 18 points to get. So we'll see where we are. Thank you again, and safe travels if you are heading to Newport.